Hello friends and welcome to the next episode of building mobile applications, iOS applications using Turbo Native and Ruby on Rails. Previously we had a look at the Turbo iOS library and we ran the demo application using Xcode and an emulated iPhone. Then we had a look at Joe Mazzolotti's open source daily log application where there is an iOS app, there is a Rails app, and they are interconnected. And you see they are in the same Git folder. And this way it is easier to see the interconnections of the changes in the iOS app and Rails, because there are some files that work together that are coupled. And now we're going to finally start building our own Ruby on Rails application that works with iOS and maybe later with Android. But let's start with iOS. So I'm going to start from the very beginning by creating a new GitHub repository. Here it is. I'm going to clone it locally. Git clone. I will now navigate to this repository. And this is just an empty repository for the moment. Now I'm going to create a new Rails application within it. I'm going to do it with this command Rails new. I will name the application joke vote. Let's have a basic application where users can submit jokes and vote for other people's jokes, and we'll see like the best jokes. PostgreSQL for the database, Tailwind for CSS, and PropShaft for assets. Okay, generating the new Rails application. Okay, the application has been generated. Now I will say Rails db create db migrate. Oh yes, I need to navigate to the Rails folder, to the folder that is joke vote, cd joke vote. And yeah, actually I can rename the folder from joke vote. I don't care what the application actually is. I will just open this whole repository in the code editor and rename it to Rails. This way we notice that it is the Rails application. And inside I will navigate to cd Rails, Rails db create db migrate. And we can try running this application locally. Okay, here we have a new Rails application running. Now let's commit all our changes to Git. So I will go out, git init, git add all. It says Rails is not cannot be committed to Git. So it is because the Rails folder itself generated a .git. So it is like I'm trying to push a Git repository inside the Git repository, so it won't work. Git status. I will need to say rm .git inside the Rails repository. So I will go to cd Rails, remove .git here. Now going back, git status, git add all, git commit message, create Rails app, and git push. Okay, it wants the username. It looks like I authenticated not via SSH. Git remote v. So git remote set URL origin. And I will just say git at github.com.git git remote v. Okay, now the origin is via SSH but not HTTP. So now I'm going to push git push. Okay, going back to GitHub. Here I have the new application. I have a Rails folder. Now let's add just a couple of pages inside the Rails folder. I will create a new controller. So going back to the Rails folder, Rails generate controller static. It will have an index page and a dashboard. Bin dev. And let's add a root path. So root will bring us to static index, and we will have get dashboard to dashboard index. So here we have the root static index, and we also have slash dashboard. Yeah, it is static slash dashboard. Okay, we have two paths. Let's also add the some basic navigation to our application. So I will have something like equals link to home, root path, and link to dashboard. Couple of basic links. Let's put them into a nav class border bottom padding 2 and some background. Okay, we have some basic navigation to homepage and dashboard. So to pages, let's commit our changes. Git add, yeah, I'll do it from the root folder. Git add all, git commit message, Rails static controller. Okay, now let's finally create a new iOS application. So I'm going to open Xcode, create a new project, a new app. Let's name it whatever, Turbo Native Demo. Organization identifier is going to be the reverse of the domain where you want to publish it, but it really doesn't matter for right now. Yeah, actually, I wanted to use choke vote. I could use choke vote here, but it really doesn't matter at this point. Next, I'm going to put it inside our Turbo Native demo. Yeah, actually, I can just name it iOS. Let me go back. I'll name it iOS. And going to Turbo Native demo. Next to the Rails folder, I'm going to have this iOS folder. So it is generating the new application. And it can take some moments to index everything, to run everything. And now I will try running this application. Remember, the application is still not connected to the Rails app in any way. We're going to do it a bit later. So now I expect it to just give us a blank page. We have the scene delegate, and there's really nothing in the application. It should give us a blank page. This is just the default setup, whatever there is. It is still launching. Okay, I waited a bit, and now we have an empty iOS application running in this emulated iPhone. So it kind of works. We can commit our changes. So git status, git add all, git commit message, create new iOS app. Okay, now we want to try running our Rails application with Turbo Native. So I'm going to go to the iOS app and I'm going to install Turbo Native. To do so, I'm going to go to the root. Here I have this project, not in targets, but in project, package dependencies. I'm going to add a new dependency. So I already have Turbo iOS in recently used, but you might need to add the full URL. So here we have github.com hotwire Turbo iOS, and here you can search for the package Turbo iOS. By default, it will want to use the main release that there is, so 7.1.0. I will click on Add Package. Ensure that there is a target. The target should be the name of your application. In my case, it's just iOS. Add in the package, and we see that Turbo is been installed. Now I will also go to the docs of TurboOS, and here there is this getting started guide, quick start guide. I'm going to copy this code, and I need to replace everything in the scene delegate. So here I have the scene delegate. I will replace it, and you see by default we have this Turbo Native demo glitch me application. It also says no module Turbo, but now it should work because we have installed Turbo as a package dependency. I will click run, and it should run not our Rails app, but it should run the demo application that is actually deployed. So let's wait for the application to run. Building with the new package dependencies can take some time. You see it's still running. It's still not completely finished. Okay, so you see the application seems to be running. Now we'll try to hit an error, and you see we have a blank screen instead of an error screen. So we've done the basic installation, but it still doesn't work very well. Let's just try run this application on localhost. So let's try run not this remote URL, but localhost. HTTP localhost 3000. And let's ensure that we have our Rails app running. So bin dev. Oh yeah, we need to navigate to the Rails folder. Bin dev. And let's see, on the web we have our Rails app running. We can navigate between homepage and dashboard. Let's run our iOS app, and we should be able to navigate between home and dashboard in iOS, because now we are pointing not to a remote real URL but to localhost. So we have homepage and we have dashboard, and we can navigate between these two pages. And you see the name of the application is Chokevote, so we see it right here. Okay, so we've created the most basic Turbo native application. Let's save our changes. Git status. I guess I'll do it from the root folder. Git status, git add all, git commit message. iOS install Turbo Native. Okay, now we're going to install the latest branch that should hopefully be merged soon into production, the Turbo Navigator branch that is going to enhance the experience out of the box using the Turbo iOS by a lot. So I'm going to use this branch. To do so, I will open the app. Here, go to the project, package dependencies. Here, instead of using up to next major version, I will use the branch. Hopefully, you will not have to do it soon as the branch gets merged. So stay tuned for pull request 158. Okay, I will click enter. It should reinitialize the app. And also inside the code changes of this branch, I will open this getting started guide, quick start guide. And I'm going to copy the scene delegate from here. So I will remove everything I have in this current scene delegate from the previous getting started guide and replace it with the new one. And just here I want to have HTTP localhost 3000. So a lot less boilerplate code in the scene delegate. Looks nice. Let's replace. It is going to rebuild the application. We need to rebuild the application, so run this play button each time you make changes in the iOS app for the changes to take effect and be visible in the demo. Okay, could not connect to server because I don't have a server running. And you see we have an actual real error page available, so it works. Bin, yeah, cd rails, bin dev. Okay, let's try running the app. And you see the app works. And now we're using the updated branch. Okay, let's save our changes. So get status. We didn't do any changes in the Rails app, but we use the Turbo Navigator branch from the Turbo iOS repository. So git add all, git commit message iOS, use Turbo iOS Turbo Navigator branch. Okay, looks fine. Now let's make our app better. Let's try adding something like authentication. Let's add the authentication with device. So I will say bundle add device. Rails generate device install. I will add these to the application layout. Notice will be text green. Alert will be text red 500. Then we need to add we already have a root path. We need to add the action mailer configuration. So going to development.rb, basic action mailer configuration. Okay. And we need to install device for user, Rails generate device user. Rails db migrate. And let's go to our static pages controller. And here index is going to be available for all users, but dashboard only for authenticated users. So before action, yeah, actually I'm going to enforce authentication everywhere in the app except the index page. It's going to be kind of the landing page. So I will go to application controller, and here I will say for action authenticate user. And here I will say skip before action authenticate user only for the index action. Now I will run the application. Let's see if I can just refresh. And you see, I didn't have to recompile anything because I made changes only inside the Rails app. And I have the home page that is accessible without authentication, and dashboard that redirects me to the sign in or sign up page. Now, I really don't like this default Tailwind layout. I will go back to application HTML and remove the flags. Let's refresh. And yeah, the layout looks a bit better. Okay, so we have added the device, and let's see if authentication with device will work out of the box. I will try to create an account, so going to sign up. And you see, I have accessed static dashboard. I am signed up. I have the flash message. I've been redirected, so I can see both homepage and dashboard. Now let's just add the device navigation links. To do it quickly, I think I have something here. I just copy paste from here sometimes to make things faster. So if send in path to edit user registration, otherwise we'll have button to log out, and we should not disable turbo anymore for device. Actually, if you have data turbo false on a link, it will not work in the iOS or Android application. You should not disable turbo on links that you want to work in mobile apps with turbo native. Okay, we have the basic device links. Let's refresh. Okay, and we see the link to edit current user and the link to log out. Let's try displaying a confirmation model. So here I will also have data turbo confirm. Are you sure? And you see we have this are you sure model pop up. I will click OK, and the user has been logged out. So I can say device has been installed, and you see device works kind of out of the box with Turbo Native. You didn't really have to make any strange changes. So add all the changes, git add all, git commit message, install device. Okay, looks good. So we have a couple of pages that we can navigate to, a page that only authenticated users can navigate to, the dashboard, a homepage where anybody can navigate and users can authenticate into the application. Looks quite good. Now let's allow users to create messages or jokes. Let's call them messages, but this will be jokes or whatever. So I will create a new scaffold, Rails generate scaffold message, body text, and user references. Now let's go to the modal. User has many messages, dependent destroy, and message belongs to user and validates body presence true. Okay, let's go to the messages form. It will not allow to submit the user, it will deduce him automatically as the current user. And in the users messages controller will not allow manually change the user ID, and in the create action it will be current user.messages.new message params. So this way we ensure that we create a message for the current user. Okay, let's see if it works. Bin dev. So I will log in. Okay, I need to run migrations. It's actually so cool that we can have this web console work in the mobile app. I will run the migrations. Okay. Okay, so we are signed in. We can also have a link to messages in our application navbar. Okay, let's refresh. And now we can access messages. And we can try creating a message. So create message, and message has been created. Now we have two flash messages. One is the one that we created with the device, one is with the scaffold. So let's go to messages, show, and remove this notice, and messages index to also remove the notice. Okay, so we managed to create a message on mobile. We can edit, we can navigate back to all messages, we can show the message, we can destroy the message, and we navigate back to the list of messages. So this kind of works. Okay, again, we were doing changes only in the Rails app, improving what we can play around with. Let's just display the user's email or something, not just the user's ID. Message user.email. Okay, so yeah, now we have a list of messages. Let's save our changes. Git add all, git commit message, scaffold messages. Okay, looks good.